Yo, people, welcome back to the channel, and it is another cricket show, two in one day. It is this time episode 8 of the Off to the Boundary show. We talk everything international cricket and cricket around the world. So, I got the two main people joining me, as always, Manny and Ben. Be up yourselves.
Big
So,
up, big up. Good to be here.
um, I think let's start with the lesser topics. Then we will get into the more featured topics. First one, of course, Bangladesh defeated the, the mighty Irish 2-0. Expected, um, but if you look at what's happened, um, if we let me just go there, it was close in terms of the run chases it um and so forth. Come on, there we go. Let me results. So the first ODI of course rained out. The second ODI, Ireland put up a total of 319. That game was shortened by 5 overs, and Bangladesh just barely won, with 3 wickets and 3 balls remaining. And then we moved to the third ODI, which Bangladesh won comfortably in the end. Um, they got to 274, or I believe they batted second. If I'm not wrong.
No, Ireland actually
No,
batted. Bangladesh batted first.
yeah, they batted first. Bangladesh and got bowled out for 274. Again, Ireland coming close, getting 269. So both of them putting up big totals, which is very good, especially for Ireland. Of course, they would want to get to the um, next year's World Cup, or not next year's, the next World Cup, T20 or ODI World Cup. They would want to get there and show it. So yeah, but quick thoughts, Manny.
Yeah, this was an exceptionally tight series between two teams with their own World Cup ambitions. Ireland seeing the first ODI washed out was very unfortunate because it meant that their chances of qualifying automatically for the World Cup were dashed. But the fact that they were able to put up these really good fights against a Bangladeshi team, which is a lot more experienced, it should augur well for them in the future. And in the qualifiers, mind you, they are going to be a very tough team to beat. And certainly all the years for which they've been playing international cricket, in addition to having so many players playing in the county scene in the UK, has only helped them greatly. But of course, Bangladesh, with a lot more experience, they just pulled through at the end. What was interesting about the third ODI is that Bangladesh were missing Shakib Al Hassan, who sustained a finger injury. And there is an injury to his right index finger while attempting a catch in the second ODI against Ireland. Fortunately, of course, Shakib is left-handed, but you can't bat with one hand. And I don't know necessarily whether that was a factor in this third ODI being so close, because he, of course, did play in the second ODI, although he went off injured and didn't bat. But you can see, if you take a look at the third ODI, some of the more established players like Tamim Iqbal and Mushfiqur Rahim came good and with the bat. And Mark Adair with the ball has been one of the finds of this Ireland team in recent times. He also did hit a quick fire 20 to try to, pull off an unlikely win, only for the balls to run out. And of course, when Ireland batted, they had an excellent, sequence in the up in the top at the top of the order with Paul Sterling and captain Andrew Balbirnie hitting half centuries. Lorcan Tucker continuing his brilliant run of late. And they have several players, mind you, Hanno, who are really coming into form. And I think those players are forming the core of that team. It's just that the Bangladeshi team seems to have a lot more in terms of experience. But the future does look to be very bright for Ireland if they can just continue to. I mean, all they need to do is just continue to be as consistent as they possibly can, and maybe some luck will come their way. And I think a lot of us remember the wonderful old days under Trent Johnston when they made a huge impact in the World Cup in the West Indies that year. I believe it was 2007, if memory serves me right. And those days could continue. Then in the first and second ODI, of course, Harry Tector had a magnificent century. Georgie Dockrell contributing a 47 ball 74, and the bowling again just not quite enough to prevent Bangladesh from pinching that game. Najmul Hussain having a century, and Shakib did in fact bat, but I wonder if his batting was hampered a little bit by that finger injury. But there probably isn't very much to separate these two teams, and it could very well happen that in the near future Ireland could earn a test win over Bangladesh because several of Bangladesh's experienced players are a little bit on the wrong side of 30. And although there are some youngsters coming in, they're also going to be exceptionally raw. We certainly don't know how long Shakib will be playing for. So Ireland do look exceptionally good of late, and they could end up surprising a few people. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be. It could be like that. But Ben, your thoughts?
Yes, I haven't been catching up with the Bangladesh versus Ireland series, but as Mani said, yes, the future looks bright for Ireland, and Harry Tector being their best ODI batsman, so they do give up put up a good fight, as we have seen. They also did against uh, good teams like India. So the future looks bright for Ireland, and I hope they qualify for the upcoming ODI World Cup. For me, it's Netherlands and Ireland's qualifying for the upcoming ODI World Cup. So I would be glad to see Netherlands and Ireland qualify. So yeah, that's what my thoughts are.
Yeah, of course. In the playoffs, that's I'd love to see Scotland and maybe even Namibia qualify. Love to see it. Um, so yeah, let's get into some comments. Asun's tech review. Be up. Bangladesh Tigers in the final. Be up yourself, mate. Zain, I have actually met one Ali. My grandfather played cricket with his dad back in the day. Oh wow, wow. Be up to you for that, mate. Be up yourself, Chelsea fan. Keeping that like button. So yeah. Um, next topic is the Ireland versus England match. Um, test that is coming up on the 1st of June. So I will read out the squads. Course, what is to come, of course. Ireland are having warm ups matches, so yeah. Um, so yeah, let me just see. Manny, do you have the squads with you? I can't find the squads. Um, Donna, do you have the squads?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was mute. I do. Do you want me to share the screen?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Let's share the screen
Uh,
for the of this series.
right. So just making sure I get to the right page, and yes, taking a long time to load, but here we are. And I think now I know the best time to share the screen wait until all of these ridiculous advertisements are, out. So the Irish squad is more or less similar to the one which has been playing recently against Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Obviously, Balbirnie will captain the side, and the likes of Adair, Camphor, Dockrell, and Paul Sterling, Harry Tector, Lorcan Tucker. They've obviously been performing very well. Do look out for Peter Moore, the former Zimbabwe international, who has since switched to playing for Ireland and has certainly been. I mean, of course, prior to his switch and becoming eligible for Ireland, he was playing club cricket in Ireland, having moved there from Zimbabwe. So it's going to be interesting to see how well he will, adapt to the conditions and what he will add to the team. Certainly could add a little bit more experience, having played international cricket some time before these his teammates ever did. As for England, well, one particular issue here is that Jofra Archer is out of the squad and he's out for the rest of the summer, so he will not be featuring in the Ashes series. I believe he sustained the injury while playing in the IPL for Mumbai. So I think it's fair to say that the IPL has been wonderful for England's ODI and T20 players in the sense that they've been able to um, learn how to play certain types of shots and adapt to conditions very well. And you can see that, England with the two 2020 World Cup wins have certainly benefited from the experience of having played in the IPL. Although the first time that England won it, ironically, Kevin Peterson was the only player with an IPL contract at the time. But with the injuries coming in, I think it's fair to say that England are probably going to try to clamp down as much as possible on the number of players who get to play in the IPL, or make it crystal clear, as they already are doing, that international duty will come first. So it's not like what New Zealand have done when, because several of their players were playing in the IPL, including Devon Conway for the Super Kings tonight, and we will come to that. Pakistan ended up playing against a very inexperienced New Zealand team. And James Anderson, I believe there was some talk of him possibly skipping the Ireland test as a precaution because they will want him fit for the Ashes. But just like a phoenix from the flames, wicketkeeper batsman Johnny Bairstow comes back into the team at the expense of Ben Foakes. Certainly a very experienced campaigner, one of the team's most dependable batsmen. Didn't think he'd be able to play again after sustaining his horrible injury, but he's back. He's fighting fit. He's been playing well for Yorkshire in the county season, and a lot will be expected of him. And of course, some of these names have become household names already. Stuart Broad, another legend. Harry Brook, who's becoming, one of the superstars that England of international cricket, one of the main things that have to offer. Jack Leach, of course, slow left-arm bowler in the probably more in the tradition of someone like a Phil Tufnell than anyone else, but certainly after a difficult start has adapted to life well in international cricket. Ollie Pope, another promising batsman who has been doing well. Matthew Potts, Ollie Robinson also had a bit of an injury worry, but he seems to be declared fit. The legend that is the ex-captain in Joe Root, Chris Wokes and Mark Wood. No place for Keaton Jennings, among others, in the batting order. But I think it's fair to say that this Ireland test could very well be a test for the batsmen to see how they can cope, because England are still falling victims to batting collapses every now and then. So obviously, a lot of the other performing batsmen in the county scene can still fancy their chances if any player is pretty much out of form. But with regard to the bowlers, experience all around. Wokes, Wood to go with Broad and Anderson, Leach for some left arm spin and maybe some part time off spin from Root, and a pretty good all round team. Very excited for the upcoming Ashes, but this Ireland test should also be a pretty good exercise for them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. This is basically like the warm up to the Ashes, of course. Um, Anderson, I said he's going to miss focus on the Ashes. Archer is out. And Bastow, of course, has replaced Folks for this test. So yeah. Um, but Ben, your thoughts on that?
On that.
Yeah, it's a good warm up exercise, as you said. So it will be a good warm up for England heading to the Ashes, and it's pretty harsh on Ben Foakes to miss out, considering the excellent run of form he had in the last English summer. And even Bairstow said, even Bairstow empathized with Foakes, as he said Bairstow exactly knows how it is like to be left out. But yeah, as we have seen Bairstow put up a really good display as well. Bairstow has to be been in sublime form for England. So all in all, this is going to be a good warm up exercise for England heading to the Ashes. So this let's hope it turns out to be a good contest.
Yeah, I agree. Sain says Harry Brook is a sensational player, had a decent IPL run as well. Yeah, he had a very good IPL. We'll talk a bit more shortly. So yeah, quick predictions. I'm just going to say England.
Can't
England.
look beyond can't look beyond England, I'm afraid. But England will need to be careful because with the likes of Mark Adair, if they're able to bowl exceptionally well in these conditions, then they will certainly cause more than a handful of problems for the England batsmen, who will have to be circumspect. Joe Root should be expected to come good as long as he doesn't get forced into a shell. And as for the bowlers, even without Anderson, I believe Broad and Wood and Wokes and company should have enough for the batsmen. But again, they can't take these Irish guys for granted. England should win by, I would say, 100 runs or maybe 5 wickets.
Yeah. Ben.
Yeah, same. Can't look beyond England, and this is going to be a absolutely one-way contest, and England is going to win by a huge margin. And as the counter-attacking style of batting, uh, the way which England play, it it is uh, going to be a good threat for Ireland. So it is England all the way, winning this one-off test.
Yeah, that Jason says England will win. Yeah, I think everyone agrees. Yeah. Man, is the Ashes squad announced or not?
I don't know if it's been announced yet. I'm going to sort of check and see because I think it's fair to say, really, that yeah, the only things that have been confirmed is that Archer will be missing the squad, and I mean, even with the squad for the World Test Championship has been announced, I think they haven't really, named their squad yet. And there is going to be a great deal of intrigue. Will David Warner make the Ashes squad or not? Warner, of course, as you know, Hanno has been performing decently well for Delhi with a few decent scores, but then having to make the jump from T20 to Test cricket is not very easy, and even a guy of his experience would find it difficult. I might even go so far to say that if he fails in the World Test Championship final, he might end up being dropped from the Ashes squad or encouraged to retire. And of course, with Ushman Khawaja performing well, Australia do have a very solid opening batsman. But the best thing about Khawaja is that he can definitely bat at number 3 as well. So I'm going to take a look and see if Australia have in fact named their squad. I'm not sharing the screen as of yet. Yeah, in fact, so the latest, the news from, of course,
Just I'm saying Australia
yeah,
coming from.
yeah, Yeah, for the first two Ashes test, Matt Renshaw, Marcus Harris, and Mitchell Marsh had in fact earned places, and yeah, I was actually speaking about this with Ben on an earlier show. Warner has in fact been selected for the two Ashes test, but there will be some heat on him. So Australia's squad has been more or less, you know, uh, dealt with for the time being. Although Warner could end up missing the next two tests if he doesn't do well in the World Test Championship final. As far as England are concerned, their squad hasn't really been named yet, but they're going to definitely look at the Ireland test and make a decision as to what their squad will be. But Australia do look they've got their squad set for those first two
Yeah,
tests at the WTC final.
I agree. I agree. Um, so yeah, I think next is the IPL. Of course, CSK defeats the Gura Titans. Um, at the end of the day, it was an easy one. I thought with the total that the Titans would put up more of a fight. Really. Um, and just that bowling display from Chennai was incredible. So yeah. You guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'll start with this because I actually joined the watch along for the end of the game, and I would have seen it through to the end had it not been for a ridiculous power outage on my end. But we're going to take a look at the scorecard first. And what was sort of interesting about this particular game was that we're going to take a look and see who yeah, so this qualifier was, of course, in Chennai in front of the passionate crowd. And we're going to take a look and see who won the toss once we get to the full scorecard. Now, yeah, so Gujarat actually won the toss and they elected to field first. And if we take a look at the Chennai batting, it was basically a question of Gaikwad and Conway doing well at the top of the order and sort of setting a platform for a decent total with an 87-run partnership for the first wicket. And they pretty much used up the first 10 overs of the innings playing solidly. There was only one six hit between them, and that was by Gaikwad, 11 fours. But it was a steady partnership where they kept the scoreboard ticking and were causing a great deal of frustration for the Titans bowlers. But then once Gaikwad holed out, it was a question of wickets falling at regular intervals. No real substantial partnerships of note, and especially with Tony failing to really live up to his reputation that he's built here as a big finisher, he ended up getting out for one. But then Moeen Ali came in and kept the scoreboard ticking. Had a huge six. Ravindra Jadeja getting 22, but it was basically because of the platform set by Gaikwad and Conway that they were able to get that total. Otherwise, it was just a display of batting that was overawed by some pretty good quality Gujarat bowling. Mohammad Shami, the India seamer, finishing with 2 wickets for 28 off 4, economy rate of 7, arguably their best bowler. Mohit Sharma, who was later on substituted out in favour of an impact batsman, picking 2 for 31. A wicket apiece for Nalkande, Rashid Khan, and Nur Ahmed. Rashid Khan and Nur Ahmed, obviously from Afghanistan, teammates playing together, and they played their part. And the Titans made a reasonably quick start, but losing Ridhiman Saha early didn't really help their cause. Shubman Gill top scoring with 42, and when he was there, things were looking promising. But even here, there were regular wickets that were lost. Wickets that were lost at regular intervals. No real substantial partnerships. As long as Rashid Khan was there at the very end, he had a 30 run, a nice little cameo of 30 off 16. As long as he was there, he was basically taking Tushar Deshpande to the cleaners. And of course, Deshpande, in fact, finished with one for 43 or four. But the use of Mahesh Theekshana, the slingy bowler they have, who is in fact, of course, Sri Lankan and who models his action from the legend that is Lasith Malinga. Personally, I think I've made it very clear on this stream channel that I despise that action. I firmly believe that when you bowl, your bowling arm has got to be at a high point, right above your head, and at least perpendicular to the ground if you're a right-handed bowler. Basically, I'm left-handed, so my arm would be like this. So, and it also has to be properly straight. So, I despise that action, but if it's allowed by the ICC, not much can be done about it. And of course, with Theekshana bowling being used very well, he came on at the death and was, limiting the batsman's scope. The run out of Darshan Nalkande was in particular really in particular an example of good tactics from Dhoni to use that ball, cramp the batsman for room, make them hit on the offside to mid off, and be denied runs. And so once Rashid Khan got out in the middle of the 19th over, it was all over bar the shouting and. A question of good game management. And one thing I will say about the Super Kings is that while they don't necessarily have the most in form all round team, you see some lopsided scorecards where one or two batsmen do well and the rest come a cropper, and they still depend a great deal on the opening partnership of Gaikwad and Conway. They find a way to manage games well, and of course, when you got Tony with all his experience and know-how, especially how to use his bowlers very well, whether it's his seamers or his spinners, they are a difficult proposition. So I suppose the best way to beat CSK would be to try to target the opening partnership very early and make sure that their batsmen are cramped for room and not allowed to, you know, um, hit freely. And with regard to attacking the bowlers, just make sure. I mean, obviously, Theekshana will be very difficult to hit, but you've got to make sure you watch for the occasional bad ball. Watch him as he, if in case he completely strays in line and length. And as for the other bowlers, just try and attack them. And as I said, play with circumspection against Theekshana. But Chennai do look really good this time around, and if they win, it could be a perfect send off for MS Dhoni, who should probably be retiring, although there has been some talk about him possibly continuing for at least another season. Personally, I think this is it for him. He's 41. Injuries are taking a toll on his body, and he really needs to make way for a new generation, a new captain. And I think they're just going to continue where he's left off, really, because he's left the team. He will have left the team in a good position.
Yeah, I agree. Ben, of course, CSK fan. Your thoughts?
Can't be more glad to watch CSK get into the finals. It's the 10th IPL final in which CSK has qualified. So it pretty much shows that the C in CSK stands for consistency. So it was a pretty good game, as Mani said. CSK's opening pair, they kept scoring at a steady rate, which provided the base for a good finish. And contrary to that, Gujarat kept losing wickets at regular intervals, because of which they couldn't make it to the target. But I was expecting Gujarat to win, considering the potential they have, and and the as Gujarat have really good finishers in their team. They have the likes of Rashid, Miller, Gill. So they look, on paper, Gujarat look pretty formidable. So I was expecting Gujarat to win, but good on CSK's bowling and Dhoni's captaincy, the way he used his bowlers. So it was good on CSK to have restricted Gujarat Titans and qualify for the finals. So let's hope what we get to see further. So Gujarat Titans will be playing the qualifier too. So we'll see what happens in the games ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Games to come is going to be interesting, of course. First game is both Gujarat Titans will face the winner of this game, the Lucknow Super Giants against the Mumbai Indians. Um, I'm just going to go quickly now because I need to go soon. Um, so yeah. My prediction for this one is, I reckon, with the home crowd, with Super Giants be having that bit of advantage, a bit with the, if you look with the bowling, they got the likes of Mark Wood, Amish Khan, um, who else is there? And with the bat contender Cork, Nicholas Puran. Mumbai lacking a bit of star power. Um, I'm going to back them, back the Lucknow Super Giants for victory. At home, they should get this one over the line. I don't, Ben, your thoughts? Who do you think is
Who do you
going to
think
get
is
this
going
one?
to get this one?
So considering the Lucknow versus MI head-to-heads so far, MI haven't beaten Lucknow, so it's 3-0 at the moment. So Lucknow have won all the three games they have faced against Mumbai Indians. So as a CSK fan, I would really not hope MI to win this, but as considering today's match, even uh, seeing the head-to-head versus seeing the head-to-head of Gujarat Titans versus CSK, even CSK didn't win a single match against Gujarat Titans until the match we witnessed today. So this match can go anyway. But as a CSK supporter, I would really want Lucknow to win this game. So I'm rooting for Lucknow.
Well, I'm going to disagree with the both of you and say that when it comes to the IPL, Mumbai are also probably more than the Super Kings, the clutch team of the IPL. And in Rohit Sharma, they clearly have one of the other of IPL's legends and legendary captains alongside MS Dhoni. And one of the things which has really struck me about the Indians is that they've shown that when it comes to chasing down totals, they're arguably the best team in this IPL, with the likes of Cameron Green and Timothy David coming in and bashing things. In addition to Surya Kumar Yadav in the middle order, they certainly have shown that they're capable of hunting down totals. And as a Rajasthan fan, I only too well remember the match against Mumbai at the Wankhede, I think, when Jason Holder was bowling the last over. When the ball was given to Jason Holder, my heart sank because I knew that the former West Indian captain was struggling with his line, and I didn't believe that he would be able to control it enough to prevent uh, Mumbai from getting the runs they needed. And lo and behold, Timothy David smacked Holder for 3 sixes. He was bowling round the wicket, and they all pretty much went in the same, more or less the same area. And that defeat was literally the start of Rajasthan's collapse from being at the top of the table to crashing out ignominiously. And I actually think that there should be a captaincy change. I'd like to see Sanju Samson relieved of captaincy duties and Joss Butler given the job. He's the winning captain of the recent World 2020 Championship, so he certainly can't be that bad. But my prediction should be for the Mumbai Indians to win. I think if Yadav, David, and Green get going, they're going to just put up a. They're either going to put up an amazing total, or they will certainly be expected to chase down the total quite easily. I don't really see too many bowling options among the Giants who can really trouble the Indians. Whereas with Mumbai, they've got Chris Jordan and Piyush Chawla, who's still doing well, and some other bowlers who can. Jason Berendorf is another option. So yeah, for me, the Mumbai Indians should win this one, and it will be another classic Chennai Mumbai clash in the final. I just wonder if Dhoni will get the golden farewell he wants, or whether Rohit Sharma will upset the apple cart. But I think it's fair to say that, yeah, I think Hano's had to leave. So I think that's pretty much it for now, anyway. And we're pretty much done discussing all of these topics. So, oh, actually, there are a few more topics. And I think he wanted to discuss this one about RCB and Virat Kohli, chokers once again. Um, it's really unfair to sort of label him with that tag, because obviously he's been a titan for India and also for this franchise. I just wonder maybe if the pressure of expect and the expectations are getting a bit too much for him, and maybe it might be time to move to another team. Ben, I'm just going to get your opinion on this, and then we'll end the stream. But what do you think?
So considering RCB's run of form, they have they have been pretty consistent with making to the playoffs. But then when they make it to the playoffs, they can't get past that. So it's been unfortunate for RCB. And considering Kohli being a titan for Royal Challengers Bangalore, and the batsman with the most number of centuries in the Indian Premier League, so it's unfair on Kohli uh, to be having no trophies. But I don't think Kohli moving from RCB to any other franchise. So we have seen Kohli being loyal to his franchise, and I hope Kohli will remain loyal to RCB forever. I don't see him moving out of the franchise. So it's been pretty harsh on RCB so far, but let's hope one one fine year they win the cup. But as of this season, I just want CSK to win, and so that Dhoni gets a good farewell.
Well, consider this. If Dhoni gets his farewell and there's a huge void to be filled, maybe a move from Bangalore to Chennai might be on the cards.
I don't see that happening. I really don't see that happening because Kohli is going to stay very loyal to his franchise.
Well, don't forget, even in the IPL, no player stays at a franchise for very long. I mean, MS Dhoni is, of course, the golden exception. But even then, when Chennai were, of course, booted out of the IPL for a couple of years, he actually was, if memory serves me right, captaining one of the new expansion teams. I don't recollect whether it was Pune or even from Gujarat. I don't quite remember. But, it just goes to show nobody stays at one franchise for long. Moving on is sometimes the best thing to do. But that's a story for another day, another year. And with that, we are going to end this show. But Ben, always a pleasure to have you on. Always a pleasure to discuss cricket. Do please shout yourself out. It's been good to have you back. I hope your exams went well. Do please tell us how we can get in touch with you.
Yeah, sure. So you guys can check me out on Instagram. My Instagram ID goes by Ben Samuel 6969. You guys can also check me out on Facebook. My ID goes by Ben Samuel. So good to be on this stream. Cheers.
Thank you very much indeed. Always good to have you on. And of course, you know where to find me over here talking cricket and soccer and other things. Why do I say soccer? It's always football, but it is what it is. Of course, Hanno calls it soccer, but whatever. And the IPL is, of course, winding down. And I do believe that we will be looking to focus on the upcoming World Cup in a few months' time. Certainly a lot of other cricket to be played, and we will definitely look to provide analysis of that and maybe some coverage of that. A possible watch along for the IPL final if we can, and that will certainly be on the cards. But for now, though, from Hanno, from Ben, and from myself, thanks a lot for joining in. Thanks to everyone in the chat, Chelsea fans, Zain Hanif, and of course, Hassan's Tech Review. Hope to see you all again soon, and keep watching our coverage on YouTube, coverage and analysis rather. For now, though, take care of yourselves and have yourselves a good evening, good night, and a good rest of your day. Cheers.